Okay. So we have covered the browser commands. So these are the browser methods or browser commands. Get of URL, it opens the given browser URL. So given URL in the browser, and then get title. So it's all getter methods. Please understand. So I have given this getter methods concept in Java encapsulation time. Getter methods always return the data. So return type methods you should know. So it fetches the current page title. That is the current page title means this one. Okay. And this one. And get current URL. So current URL means, okay, once you open, what is the URL in the address bar? That your URL you want to get it. Then you call this method, get current URL method. See the syntax is also I have given. String abs URL equal to driver dot get current. Driver is the object reference. Driver is the object reference. The which browser reference you are referring, that browser reference. Get page source. It fetches the current page HTML source code. String srs equal to driver dot get page source. Get window handle. It returns the current window ID. Current window ID. Where you are currently, that window ID. So every window has a unique UIDs. It will fetch that window ID. And then we have string PID equal to, so driver dot get window handle. This is the singular verb. See, this is very easy to remember the methods also. Get window handle. So remaining below one you see get window handles. It fetches all the open window IDs. So WebDriver will open multiple tabs or multiple new windows. So such cases, this get window handles you have to use. Then based on these two, you will get all the window IDs, right, into set collection. Then you can switch to which window you want to go. So that's a switching between the windows and tabs. So that time these two methods you will call. Okay, so that's why, so by heart this, that will help you read every, I am saying every day you read them and revise them. That revision is important. So when you sit that time only, don't do that. When you are traveling, when you are going somewhere, and revise the methods. Or when you are planning to go to bed, and just recollect those ones. That's how you need to improve the learning process. Close, it close the current window. So this is the void method, that's why driver dot close. Quit method, it will close all the window IDs. So this we already discussed, I don't want to, but once again I repeated, but whoever missed that classes. Now the next one is the new one. Switch to methods. So you want to switch to different tab, different frame, different alerts. So this switch to method is going to help you. So, but all this you will apply on the driver reference. Okay. Switch to method is used to move your cursor from current window to specified window or frame or alert window. If you want to move your cursor from current window or current page to frames or alerts, and you will use switch to method. So how to switch to the specific window or a tab? So this is the code. Driver dot switch to method dot window method dot window reference you have to use. Window reference means window ID you give. So window ID you pass. Which window ID? So you previous get window handles, you got the window IDs, right? There you get which window you want to go. That window ID you pass it here, and automatically cursor will go to that window. That is the Selenium process. And how to switch to the particular frame? So there are frames in the web pages. Frame, iframes, two types of frames are there. How you will recognize are these frames? So there is a frame tag and iframe tag in the HTML. So those frames are there. Then Selenium directly won't identify that frame inside elements. You have to move your cursor to that frame, then Next step, you identify that frame inside elements and perform the actions. Otherwise it doesn't work out. So that is what here, how to switch to the frames. Driver dot switch to method dot frame of frame locator you give. Even you can switch based on the index. So driver dot switch to method dot frame of int index. Then you can switch based on the web element also. Driver dot switch to method dot frame of web element. See that the frame method is following OOPS concept, that is method overloading with a second option. There is a two options, right? One is by increasing the number of parameters, but here by changing the data type of the parameter. See, parameter one only here, but data type of that parameter is different. So that's the method overloading example. So in Selenium you can tell that. So how to switch to alerts? Alerts are designed by JavaScript code. And what is this Windows and what is the difference between alerts? Windows, you can identify the elements in the HTML code. Every element in the windows and tabs, you will have a HTML code properly. You can identify that element. But in the alerts, you cannot identify any element in the alert window. That's the difference. Then how can you handle that? If you are not able to identify any element, how can you perform the actions? They provided an alert method, and there with that reference you can call to close the alert. You can use accept method to close the alert. To accept the alert, you will use accept method. To close the alert, you can use a dismiss method. If you want to type, you will use a send keys method. If you want to get the text, you will use a get text method. So these are the methods you will use, but this one is an alert is an interface reference variable equal to driver dot switch to method dot alert method. So alert is an interface. Here, this left side, this is also asked sometimes in the interviews. Okay. And the last one I want to cover is these are switch to methods. See, all I applied on the driver only. Then method chaining is happening. See, the first driver is the browser reference, then switch to method, then window method. Here also driver, switch to method, frame method. So driver, switch to method, alert method, but alert method is returning alert interface, that reference variable. So make sure when you're explaining you give the return type. So this alert method only returns alert interface, but these are all not returning anything. Okay, so that's the difference between all these switch to methods. Three types of methods. One is for the window, one is for the frames, another is for alerts. The last one I want to cover for the day is navigate methods. So see the browser navigation. How many of you know browser back button, browser forward button, browser refresh? These are browser navigations. Every browser has this feature. Then how you will interact in Selenium with these browser actions? These are browser actions. Browser back button, browser forward button, browser refresh. So how can you replicate, how can you simulate these actions in Selenium WebDriver? So that is the navigate methods will do that. Suppose you want to navigate back, or you want to navigate front, or you want to navigate from this URL to some other URL in the same browser. How can you navigate to different URL? How can you refresh the entire page? How can you refresh? How can you go to previous page? How can you go to next page? So these are all browser actions, browser navigation actions if you want to do. So this navigate method will help you. An abstraction allowing the driver to access the browser's history and to navigate to given URL. So to of URL. So this will open the URL and maintains the browser history. So even sir, get method is doing same. Then what is the difference? So get method will open the URL and loads the page. It will wait for until the page loads. But this one, that doesn't maintain the browser history. There is no navigation methods in the get method. But this navigate method has all the browser's history methods. So this is the syntax of driver dot navigate method dot to of URL. So this navigate methods has another method chaining. So you are navigating from this browser to this URL you are navigating. And then if you want to simulate this browser back button, you will use a back method. So it navigates to previous page. If you want to go to previous page in your scenarios, you just need to write this code driver dot navigate method dot back method. If you want to navigate to next page, you will get driver dot navigate method dot forward method. If you want to refresh this refresh icon you want to do, so you do driver dot navigate method dot refresh method. So the difference between get and navigate of your, this is the one of the famous interview question. So here get and navigate. So the driver dot get is the part of WebDriver interface and the navigate method is part of navigation interface. So you should know where these methods are there. So the waits until the web page is fully loaded. So when you call the get method, it will wait for the page loads completely. And navigate method doesn't wait for the web page to fully load. Just navigate to other page. You have to add wait comments. So we can use a navigate.to method. So does not track browser history, but navigate method tracks the browser history. Browser history means when you navigate forward, backward, all this history will be maintained by this navigate method. So it does not support a refreshing a web page get method, but navigate method supports refreshing the web page with the refresh method. So it does not support moving forward to the next page and supports moving forward to the next page after navigating back. Okay, so that's the navigate backward and front you can support in the navigate method. So these are the very simple methods. Just back method you are calling on navigate method, not directly in the driver. Okay, please know, make sure you understand that. Driver dot navigate method dot back, driver dot navigate method dot forward, driver dot navigate method dot refresh. So make sure you include the navigate, then you call the all the navigation methods. So another interview question. So how will you refresh the page using get method? So you call the get method twice. So automatically it will refresh. This is an indirect question, right? There is no get method, refresh method in the get method. You cannot change the other method. So then call driver.get one time, below also one more time you call driver.get, then page will refresh. That is the another so navigation methods. And one more, last one, web element methods. So web element methods are, I already introduced, to identify the web page inside. Till now I explained only browser related. Now I am entering into the web page inside to identify the web elements. So what are all the different web elements?
Input box,
Text box, list box, combo.
button, checkbox, combo box, drop
Yeah,
downs,
right.
links, images,
Yes.
static text, headers,
Yeah. So these are all the
table.
web elements. Good. Listed out all of them. So all these web elements, if you want to identify, we need to use in Selenium find element method. See, find element. So this function, see, I already given the function naming conventions. the first word will start all lowercase and second word onwards every word in uppercase. That's what they follow. And this argument you need to pass by dot locator value. It finds the first web element in a web page based on the given locator. So the web element, the find element always returns, the return type of find element is a web element. Web element name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. Here web element is an interface again. See, I told you already in the non-primitive data types you will use in the Selenium, even other tools also. Non-primitive data types we will use mostly in the tools. So find element always returns a web element type element. So web element sign in link equal to driver dot find element by dot link text sign in. So web element search button, another example I have given. Find element, see plural, like get window handle, get window handles, right? Get window handles is returning a set collection. Now find elements returns a list collection. List type collection it returns. It finds all the web elements in the current page based on the given locator and stores all of them in the list type collection. So list web element collection name equal to driver dot find elements by dot locator value. So driver dot find elements by dot locator value. So returns a collection type list. Returns a collection type list. So that's why it's a list and see generic type. Generic type is all this collection type is a web element type. So every element in this collection type is a web element, not string, okay? Web element type. So how can you fetch all the elements from particular element or a section? So this is one. Identify the first parent element. Web element name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. First I'm identifying the parent element. That parent element inside, see, you can use this find elements method on the driver also, on the parent element also. See, parent element dot find elements. That means in this parent element I am finding all the child elements by this locator and I am storing in this list collection. So always remember, find elements always, what is the return type? List web element. Find element, what is the return type for find element?
Web element.
Web element. What is the return type of find elements?
List web element.
So you just understand why lists are for find elements. Because it is fetching many, but we don't know how many. We don't know the size. If you don't know the size, what Java concept we need to use? Where you will
Collection.
store collections. That's what the collections is coming here. Collections are dynamic in size. It accepts how many this method is fetching. All of them you can store here. So collections is used for storing purpose. Once you have data there, then you manipulate that data. So collections are used for storing the data purpose. Even arrays also for storing the data. But arrays are fixed in size. But here we don't know the size. That's why we are using a collections. But this is the predefined method. This method returns list type always. Return type of that method is list web element. That's why return type method syntax you remember. Find element and find elements methods are return type methods. Find element will return web element type. Find elements will return list web element. And collection name equal to, either you can put a driver or you can put a parent element. That element inside you are finding all the elements based on this locator. So this is another interview question. What is the difference between find element and find elements? So when multiple elements are present on the web page, but find element will return the first web element, but find elements will return all the elements. So when single element is present on the web page, returns a single element, and this also returns a single element. when no elements is present on the web page and throws no such element exception. So doesn't throw any exception, returns a 0 elements. So return type of find element is a web element. Return type of find elements is a list web element. How to access this? So you have to use a driver dot find element. You can access directly. So how to access these all the elements? You create the list and access each item using for or for each loop. Okay, so this is the very important concepts. So the interview questions on all the topics, browser methods. So they will ask how we will instantiate the browser, how you launch the browser. You have to tell WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver, new Firefox driver, new Edge driver.